Hi, Tom Esch here, coming to you from Minnesota in front of my local fire station. And I can't imagine a better spot to be talking about the power of trust. But first, a little story about a businessman on a flight. He was flying when the pilot got on the PA and said, everybody take your seats immediately, buckle your seatbelts. We're going to encounter some unexpected turbulence. Everybody got in their seats, everybody buckled up. He got on again a few minutes later and he said, there'll be no beverage service, no food service. I'm sorry. It's just going to be a pretty major storm we're going into here. Sure enough, they saw the lightning, they heard the thunder, and the plane was being thrown around like a rag doll. Very scary. People started praying. A few people even got sick. And this businessman himself had been on many flights, but was really scared with the plane going up and down the way it was. And he noticed out of the corner of his eye a little girl calmly sitting in her seat with her belt on, reading a book, closing her eyes, seeming to rest, just very peaceful, it seemed. And eventually the plane landed, the storm ended, everybody got off safely except for the girl and the businessman. He was waiting for her. He said, "Young lady, can I ask you a question? Everyone was so nervous during that big storm, and you were so calm. How is that you were so calm?" She looked at him and she said, "Sir, the pilot is my dad, and he said he was going to take me home safely." That is the power of trust. That young girl had total faith and total trust in her dad. How would you like to conduct yourself when the storms of life, when the challenges at work hit you on the job site or even at home? How would you like to be? How would you like to manage your own brain and your own emotional experience? The answer is obvious. We all would like to be calm like that girl, right? We know that when we're anxious, our brains don't think right. When we're nervous, we're not good leaders. We're not as safe as we could be. And we know that building trust is one way that we help everybody stay calm. When there's good relationships and respectful communication, people's brains are calmer. We know this. It's proven. This is not woo-woo. This is not touchy-feely. This is science, actually. We know it for a fact. So what's your part in building trust on your team or your job site? You might think it's not my job. I'm just working. I don't want to be bothered. You might think that guy has a temper. That other guy is a jerk. That lady doesn't know what she's talking about. I challenge you to start thinking that it is your job to build the trust. And I want you to pause this video and talk amongst yourselves for 60 seconds. How do you build trust on your crew or in your work world? How is it that you create that trusting environment that comes somewhat close to the kind of trust that young girl had for her father, the pilot? Building trusting relationships is a very important part of safety and often underrated. But when people know and trust each other, they have each other's backs. They think ahead better. They think logically better. Your job site is not only safer, it's more productive. You get things done quicker. And there's one main way all of us can make the trust level higher. And that main way is making and keeping our promises. And I know that's not easy to do, especially in construction. But people tend to trust each other when the actions and the words match. It's not easy. But when we do not do what we say we're going to do, trust levels can go down. And when we do what we say we're going to do, trust levels go up. When we say, "I'll be there at 6 a.m. on that job," and you show up at 10 to 6, that builds the trust over time. When you say that job is going to be done by the end of November, and the job is done by the end of November, and you act like that, speak and act like that, over time, the trust levels will go up. You might think it's not my job. I'm just here working. I don't want to be bothered. It is your job, actually, to create greater trust. And we do so by keeping our word. And I know we can't always do that. And when we don't, we need to repair any damage that was done with that relationship or anything with the job when we can't keep our word. In the words of David Horshager, fellow Minnesotan, who has a book called The Trust Edge, he says that trust is gained by consistent, truthful action. It's really true. People watch what we do far more than what we say. And in the building business, you are working with concrete or asphalt or steel or masonry. You're creating roads or structures or repairing sewers. You're building things. And the most important thing, I think, one of the most important things you can be building is trust. What you do, what you say, contributes to trust. And what you do and what you say could save a life today. So do the right thing every time. Build the trust. You will be safer. You'll get along better. Your life will be richer. And your company will be more profitable. Again, Tom Esch signing off. Thank you for your attention. Thanks for being present for this message on trust. Bye-bye.